Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. Everyone wants success, freedom, and wealth, but few are willing to stay consistent when no one is watching. The truth is simple. Money doesn't come to those who chase it. It comes to those who earn it through discipline. Look at every great entrepreneur, every world changer, every self-made success story. Behind all their achievements was not luck, not talent, but discipline. Discipline to wake up early when others sleep. Discipline to learn when others waste time. Discipline to keep going when the world says, stop. That's the secret nobody talks about, because it's not glamorous, but it works every single time. When you build discipline, you build trust. Trust in yourself, trust in your journey. Money follows people who can be trusted with it. When you manage your time, your focus, your habits, you prove that you can manage success. The universe rewards structure. It rewards commitment. So stop waiting for motivation. Motivation fades. Discipline stays. You may not see results today, but every small act of consistency is planting the seed of your future wealth. Stay patient. Stay faithful. Keep doing the right thing even when it feels invisible. Because discipline is silent, but its rewards are loud. Remember, fortune follows focus. Wealth follows wisdom. And all of it begins with one decision: to live with discipline, not distraction. Discipline is the foundation of lasting success because it builds the structure that holds every dream together. Without discipline, even the greatest goals collapse under the weight of inconsistency. Success is never an accident. It is a reflection of what you repeatedly do, think, and choose every single day. Discipline is the quiet force that keeps you moving when the excitement fades. It teaches you to show up even when the results are not visible yet. It reminds you that the process matters more than the pace, and that patience is power in disguise. People often look for shortcuts, hoping to skip the discipline and still enjoy the rewards. But real success doesn't work that way. The most successful people in the world, from athletes to entrepreneurs to creators, didn't get there overnight. They built their lives around discipline, doing what others refused to do. While most people complain, they practice. While others rest, they prepare. While others doubt, they continue. Discipline transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary outcomes. It doesn't just create success, it sustains it. When you live with discipline, you learn to control your emotions instead of letting them control you. You wake up with purpose, not pressure. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. Discipline gives you freedom. The freedom to choose what truly matters, the freedom to create your own destiny. It separates dreamers from doers, talkers from achievers. When you commit to discipline, you commit to growth. You realize that the small, consistent steps you take every day are far more powerful than one giant leap taken once in a while. Discipline also builds confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your self-belief. You start trusting yourself more, knowing that no matter how hard it gets, you will not quit. That inner trust is what makes you unstoppable. The world rewards those who can stay steady in the storm. Opportunities come to those who are ready for them, and discipline is what prepares you for those moments. It is not about being perfect, it is about being persistent. When you develop discipline, money, success, and recognition naturally follow. People who master themselves attract abundance because they operate from a place of focus and consistency. They don't waste time chasing distractions or comparing their journey to others. They understand that discipline is a spiritual act. It is the alignment of your actions with your purpose. It means honoring your potential by giving your best every single day. Discipline turns struggle into strength and pain into progress. It's what allows you to stay calm when things go wrong, to keep pushing when the path gets tough, and to believe even when you can't see the results yet. Discipline is not about restriction, it's about creation. It creates habits that serve your higher purpose. It helps you manage your time, your energy, and you're focused so you can live intentionally. When you're disciplined, you don't rely on motivation to get things done. Because motivation comes and goes, but discipline keeps you grounded. It helps you build momentum, and once momentum takes over, success becomes inevitable. True discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's staying consistent when no one is watching, pushing forward when it's uncomfortable, and staying humble when success finally comes. The world may not see your efforts today, but the universe always does. The seeds of discipline take time to grow, but when they bloom, they bring blessings far beyond what you imagined. In the end, every successful person will tell you the same thing: discipline changed everything. It gave them structure when chaos surrounded them, strength when they felt weak, and faith when the future was uncertain. It's not about being the best, it's about being consistent. Because when you stay disciplined long enough, success becomes not just a possibility, it becomes your destiny. Money follows consistency, not convenience, because success is built on discipline, not comfort. The truth is, wealth doesn't flow to those who move only when it feels easy. It flows to those who show up every single day, even when it's hard, boring, or uncertain. Convenience creates habits of delay, but consistency builds habits of destiny. Every successful person understands this truth: what you do daily matters more than what you do occasionally. Success rewards persistence, not preference. Consistency is about planting the same seed again and again, even when the soil looks dry. It's about trusting the process long before you see the harvest. Many people quit because they expect instant results. But life doesn't work like that. The greatest rewards always come to those who are patient and persistent. You can't rush greatness. It's shaped through time, repetition, and faith. Convenience whispers, do it tomorrow. But consistency says, do it now, no matter how you feel. That difference defines your future. Money is attracted to reliability. Employers, clients, and even opportunities trust those who are consistent. When you are consistent, you prove that you can be counted on, not just when it's convenient, but when it's necessary. The world doesn't reward those who start strong and fade away. It rewards those who endure. Consistency builds credibility, and credibility builds wealth. People invest in those who keep promises, deliver results, and show up without excuses. Think about it. Every skill you have today came from consistency. You learned to walk, talk, and think through repetition. The same rule applies to financial growth and personal success. You can't just work hard for a few days and expect miracles. You have to keep showing up with purpose and patience, even when no one notices. The world is full of talented people who gave up too soon. But the ones who stayed consistent, they became the stories we now admire. Convenience is a trap. It convinces you that comfort is more important than progress. It tells you to rest a little longer, to wait for the perfect time, to take it easy. But there is no perfect time. There is only now. Consistency turns ordinary days into extraordinary results. Each day you stay committed, you're building invisible momentum that will soon become unstoppable. Small daily efforts compound over time and create massive transformations. Money follows energy, and consistency creates that energy. When you work with focus and commitment, you attract opportunities that match your vibration. The universe aligns with those who are dependable in their pursuit. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you are silently shaping your destiny. Success doesn't chase convenience. It respects consistency. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing something persistently. Consistency also builds character. It strengthens your mindset and your confidence. When you keep your word to yourself, you develop self-trust, and that trust becomes the foundation of everything you achieve. It gives you peace because you know you're doing your part, even when the results haven't appeared yet. Money follows people who have mastered patience and persistence. It's not luck, it's alignment. Convenience fades, but consistency compounds. The person who saves a little every day, learns a little every day, and improves a little every day will always surpass the one who waits for the perfect opportunity. Wealth is not built in a moment of excitement. It's built through years of quiet, consistent effort. Every step you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to abundance. If you want money to follow you, stop chasing shortcuts. Build routines, set standards, and hold yourself accountable. Success doesn't come to the most talented. It comes to the most consistent. Show up when you're tired, when you're unsure, and when it seems like nothing is changing. Because in those moments of faith and effort, you are proving that you are ready for the next level. Money doesn't follow convenience because convenience is temporary. It follows consistency because consistency is power. The power to persist, to believe, and to build something that lasts forever. Build habits that reflect your goals, not your moods, because your future depends on what you do consistently, not on how you feel occasionally. Moods are temporary, but habits are powerful forces that shape the direction of your life. When you rely on feelings, your actions become unpredictable. One day you're inspired, the next day you're distracted. But when your habits are aligned with your goals, you keep moving forward no matter what mood you're in. That's the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. Successful people don't depend on motivation. They depend on discipline. They've learned that feelings come and go, but habits create momentum. You don't have to feel great to make progress. You just have to stay consistent. If you only act when you feel good, you'll never reach your full potential. Growth requires action, even when it's uncomfortable. Every time you choose to do what needs to be done instead of what you feel like doing, you build strength, focus, and resilience. Habits are the invisible architects of your destiny. They decide whether you move closer to your dreams or drift further away. Every morning routine, every choice, every small action, they all add up. If you want to change your life, don't start by changing your goals. Start by changing your habits. Your goals give you direction, but your habits determine your speed. When your daily actions reflect your vision, success becomes a natural outcome. Life will test your consistency. There will be days when you feel tired, uninspired, or discouraged. But that's when habits matter most. When your habits are rooted in purpose, they carry you through your weakest moments. Your moods can change with the weather, but your commitment should remain steady like the sun. If you train yourself to act based on principle instead of emotion, you become unstoppable. Think about it. Your habits are your teachers. They reflect your priorities and your discipline. If your habits reflect laziness, distraction, or procrastination, you can't expect success. But if your habits reflect learning, persistence, and self-control, success will follow naturally. The secret isn't to feel ready every day. It's to act ready every day. You can't control your moods, but you can always control your choices. That's where true power lies, in mastering your responses, not your emotions. Building habits that align with your goals also builds confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you prove that you can be trusted. You start believing in your ability to create change. That self-belief becomes your fuel. It reminds you that progress is not about perfection, it's about consistency. Even small habits repeated daily can transform your entire life. A few minutes of focus, a few steps of effort, a few moments of discipline. They may seem small, but they create massive results over time. When you build the right habits, your goals stop being distant dreams. They become daily routines. You no longer chase success, you attract it through your actions. The person who exercises daily will always be healthier than the one who waits for motivation to strike. The person who saves a little money regularly will always be wealthier than the one who waits for extra income. It's the same in every area of life. Consistent habits always win over inconsistent inspiration. To build habits that reflect your goals, start with clarity. Know what you truly want. Then design small, repeatable actions that move you toward it. Don't let emotions control your schedule. Let your purpose control your decisions. When you act in alignment with your goals, you create harmony between who you are and who you want to be. That harmony creates peace, confidence, and progress. Remember, your life will always rise or fall to the level of your habits. Success doesn't belong to those who are always in the mood to work. It belongs to those who keep working even when they're not. Moods are fleeting, but habits are forever. So choose habits that honor your dreams, not your doubts. Let your daily actions speak louder than your emotions. Because when your habits reflect your goals, success is no longer a question of if, but when. Build habits that reflect your goals, not your moods, because the person you become is shaped far more by what you do consistently than by how you feel on any given day. Feelings are unpredictable. One moment you're full of energy and motivation, and the next you feel tired, uninspired, or doubtful. But habits don't depend on emotion. Habits are steady, reliable, and powerful. They keep you on track when your mood tries to pull you off course. Success isn't built on bursts of excitement. It's built on quiet, repetitive actions done with purpose. When you live by your moods, you become a prisoner of inconsistency. You might work hard one day and procrastinate the next. You may commit to a new goal with passion, but as soon as the excitement fades, your discipline fades too. That's why most people never reach their full potential. They wait to feel like it. The truth is, the people who achieve greatness are not the ones who are always motivated, but the ones who act regardless of their feelings. They understand that discipline is stronger than emotion and that success requires action, not just intention. Your habits are like seeds. What you plant repeatedly will grow. If you plant the habit of focus, you'll harvest achievement. If you plant the habit of procrastination, you'll harvest regret. Every action, no matter how small, sends a message to your future self. Every morning you get up early, every time you choose effort over excuses, you're building a version of yourself that can handle greater challenges and attract bigger opportunities. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent. When your habits reflect your goals, your progress becomes automatic. You stop relying on willpower and start living by structure. For example, if your goal is financial freedom, you must build the habit of saving and learning about money, even when you don't feel like it. If your goal is health, you must exercise even on the days when your mind says, not today. If your goal is personal growth, you must read, learn, and reflect daily, not just when you're inspired. Over time, these small, steady actions compound into extraordinary results. Building habits that align with your you said, expend to trust the process. Small steps compound into greatness in 700 words, without heading and without conclusion. ChatGPT said, trust the process. Small steps compound into greatness, even when it doesn't look like it. Every big success you see today was once a small, quiet effort made in faith. The world often celebrates the outcome, but forgets the process that built it. Every masterpiece begins with a single brushstroke. Every strong tree begins as a seed buried underground, invisible to the world. The same is true for your journey. You may not see results today, but that doesn't mean growth isn't happening. Progress is not always loud or visible. Sometimes it's silent, steady, and sacred. The key is to trust that every small action matters. Every page you read, every step you take, every disciplined choice, they're all building something bigger than you can currently see. Greatness is never achieved in a day. It's earned through consistent effort over time. The process may be slow, but it's never wasted. The small things you do daily, the habits you repeat, the moments when you choose discipline over comfort. These are the bricks of your success. Each step compounds, layer by layer, until one day you look back and realize how far you've come. The challenge is that most people give up too soon. They want instant results, quick rewards, visible change. But the truth is, real growth happens below the surface long before it shows above it. A seed takes time to root before it rises. Likewise, your dreams are taking shape in ways you can't yet see. When you trust the process, you learn to find peace in patience. You stop rushing and start believing. You understand that every season has a purpose: planting, growing, waiting, and harvesting. Nothing great grows overnight, but everything great grows eventually. Small steps might seem insignificant, but they carry extraordinary power when repeated. Success is not one giant leap, it's a series of tiny steps taken with faith. Each act of consistency compounds, much like drops of water carving stone over time. Even when progress feels slow, it's progress. What matters most is direction, not speed. If you keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps, you are still winning. The ones who keep walking, even when the path feels endless, are the ones who reach their destination. Trusting the process means surrendering the need for control. It means believing that what you're doing now will matter later. It's about faith. The kind of faith that stays strong even when the results don't show yet. Every successful person has walked through a season of uncertainty where nothing seemed to be working, but they kept going. They stayed consistent, disciplined, and patient. Eventually, their effort caught up with their vision. That's the power of trust. It transforms pressure into purpose. You may feel unseen or undervalued now. Discipline is the ultimate form of self-respect and spiritual growth, because it is the act of honoring your potential and living in alignment with your higher purpose. When you practice discipline, you are telling yourself that you are worthy of success, peace, and fulfillment, that your goals deserve your full commitment, not your convenience. Discipline is not about punishment or restriction. It is about love. The kind of love that pushes you to become your best self. It is the daily decision to do what serves your future instead of what satisfies your momentary emotions. When you lack discipline, you betray yourself. You allow distractions, doubt, and laziness to steal your potential. But when you choose discipline, you choose growth. You learn to master your mind, your habits, and your emotions. That mastery is the deepest form of self-respect, because it means you are no longer controlled by impulses or circumstances. You rise above temporary comfort to pursue lasting fulfillment. You become the kind of person who doesn't wait for motivation. You create it. Discipline also strengthens your spirit. It teaches you patience, humility, and resilience. Every time you stay committed in the face of struggle, you expand spiritually. You begin to understand that growth is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Through discipline, you develop faith, faith that your efforts will bear fruit even when results are not yet visible. You stop seeking instant gratification and start valuing long-term progress. This shift in mindset deepens your connection with life itself, because you start to see purpose in every challenge and lesson in every delay. When you are disciplined, your life gains structure and meaning. You stop living in chaos and start living with intention. You set boundaries that protect your peace, routines that strengthen your character, and habits that move you closer to your dreams. You respect your time, your energy, and your commitments because you know they are sacred. This is self-respect in its purest form, the awareness that your life is a gift and it deserves to be lived with purpose, not wasted in procrastination or regret. Discipline is also deeply spiritual because it teaches surrender. It reminds you that you are not always in control of the outcome, but you are always in control of your effort. It humbles you to accept that success is not built in a day, but through daily devotion. In that consistency, you build not only results, but character. You learn to trust the process, to trust yourself, and ultimately, to trust the divine timing of your journey. Discipline connects you to a higher power, because when you act with consistency, faith and patience, you align your actions with the natural rhythm of the universe. Through discipline, you also learn gratitude. You start appreciating progress instead of perfection, effort instead of excuses. Every disciplined moment becomes a prayer of action, a silent declaration that you believe in your purpose. You begin to see how your daily routines, your sacrifices, and your persistence are shaping your destiny. That awareness fills you with peace because you realize you are becoming someone you can be proud of. True discipline doesn't take away your freedom, it gives you more of it. It frees you from the control of impulses, bad habits, and negative thinking. It gives you the power to choose what truly matters instead of what feels easy. It turns chaos into clarity and doubt into direction. When you live with discipline, you no longer chase balance. You create it. You become grounded, focused, and spiritually alive. Discipline is where the body, mind, and soul work together. The body acts, the mind commits, and the soul believes. Every act of discipline, whether it's waking up early, controlling your emotions, or staying focused, becomes a form of worship, a way of saying, I am grateful for this life, and I will honor it with my best effort. That is why discipline is more than a tool for success. It is a path to spiritual awakening. It connects you to your higher self, reminds you of your divine potential, and helps you live in alignment with your purpose. In the end, discipline is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about choosing growth over comfort, purpose over pleasure, and commitment over excuses. When you live this way, you don't just build success, you build peace. You don't just achieve goals, you evolve. And that evolution is the highest form of self-respect and the truest expression of spiritual growth.